Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK We'll Talk About It.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Before we get into the video, I'd like to turn your attention to a referral link that you'll find in the description below somewhere, or on the page description on my homepage, where you get a $50 off on the Decent Biometric Wallet. And if you have a whole lot of coins, you might be interested in the package discount for the Decent Biometric Wallet 2-pack, where you save $129 off on the regular price. That's one heck of a deal. I hope you take advantage of it, because it's time to preserve and protect your funds. Be your own bank, folks. Let's get into it. I'm going to cover some news, rumors, and opinions to reflect how, like all my videos say, stay grounded. Walk, don't run. Has the RV begun? Well, yeah, I do think it's happening. However, let me show the reason to walk and not to run by considering these excerpts here. We can see, I mean, that must be a mistake, 29, because it should be 30 probably. Yeah, right there it says 30. Okay. And so you can see here it says here from Wolverine, the news has been overwhelmingly coming from so many sources. Some say it's starting tonight. Some say it's already started. They're getting ready in Iraq for the RV tomorrow, 30th of June. Okay, it's 2nd of July where I'm at right now, and there has been no RV. The latest is that you should get ready. It's coming. It's really coming. I do believe that. But I also believe nobody really knows the exact date, because here we have proof again that it did not happen yet for our eyes in the United States. It says the G20, an intergovernmental forum comprising 19 sovereign countries, gave the release, and emails for the Internet group will be coming out sometime between Monday 1 July and Friday 5 July. Now, I kind of believe that. And I kind of believe that it is intentionally being held for the 4th of July. But that's all just completely 100% speculation. And just considering the likelihood of trying to make it a great celebratory day. Reading on. Some bond people have already been paid. Now that's a major statement. They aren't answering my calls because they are under NDAs. That's an even more major statement. And if you recall in my prior video, I said you might want to marinate when somebody kind of goes low and think that, well, maybe they're under an NDA and we're not going to jeopardize each other. I can tell you this. When I stop talking about the global currency reset, then you can bet your bottom bippy I'm under an NDA and I'm not going to risk it. I might run back over to crypto more so than this, but now's the time to cover this because I believe it's actually happening. Moving on, he continues, be responsible with your money, use it wisely. You will be, I guess, under an NDA, and you cannot talk about the RV. Exactly my point. If you talk about it, you will get your money frozen and you won't get it. I'll be going silent for about 3 months. Get ready for tomorrow. We've already addressed that. There's no tomorrow, 30 June happening here. For the biggest celebration you've ever had, because that's when the RV is coming out. About midday in Iraq. This is not a false alert because it's really coming. I can't wait because of all the hate I've been hit by will go away. God bless you. I love you. Welcome to the new world. Bye-bye. I had a dear friend, Chuck. Chuck was our preacher man for our group. And he and I had private conversations. And I told him that I kind of suspect that Trump is going to be president again. And his VP is going to be Robert F. Kennedy Jr. John F. Kennedy Jr. Make that John I've F. been Kennedy seeing, Jr. Believe me or not, this is a true story from 2 or 3 years ago. And he asked, you really think so, DK? And I said, yes, I do. I really think so. I've been seeing clips of JFK Jr. apparently on Twitter and stuff becoming more and more prevalent. So we'll see if that's accurate. Why am I talking about this? I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about this, because I've always said it and I'll say it again. This is and has always been bigger than the Iraqi dinar. It's even called a global currency reset. That being said, do you think the global currency reset is just one currency? I will show you here momentarily how it's absolutely not. Let's go through this some more. Sorry for bogey. It says here from Mr. Salvage, breaking news from Brazil. Brazil, doesn't that first letter in BRICS nation start with a B for Brazil? I'll tie it in a moment. It says levels 4A and 4B are ready to receive notifications. The United States is under pressure to release NESARA, and you can bet the United States will be the last one to come on board. I've said it many times. Wells Fargo and HSBC are on high alert. I can't confirm or deny anything I'm reading for your information. All transactions are under military supervision. Oh, how much I believe that. How much do I believe that? Well, if you go to my profile page on X, Twitter, you'll find this. I absolutely believe it. And the decision to know is yours. It's up to you. Carrying on. All payers are ready and funded. Could be. All notifications will be released globally. All funds will be distributed globally. Well, that makes sense for a global currency reset, does it not? Bogey, please don't join me. Continuing further, Banker says, I have nothing to confirm. The IRA will be notified about appointments to exchange or the dollar value of same. I do know the banker has had his staff on a 1-hour call to report to their assigned locations once the release has become authorized for the past 3 days, and that the rate in country was published in the Gazette today, Saturday, 29 June, 2024. So, folks, we are extremely close. God bless. The rates were posted, huh? I'm going to look into that, see if there's anything I can do to find out. I did go search around, and I couldn't find anything that made me question the value of the IQD except these export regulations here on this site that I have, Visa HQ, one of my means of keeping track of the Iraqi dinar, because we have import regulations. Of course, local currency, the Iraqi dinar, and foreign currencies must be declared on arrival. That's coming into the country, but when you're leaving the country, it says for currency export regulations for nationals or residents of Iraq being older than 18 years of age, it says you can only do up to a maximum of 100,000 IQD in local currency. And when I did the math on that 100,000 Iraqi dinar in local currency, I came up with the area of like $76, I believe. Let me do it one more time. 100,000 divided by 1310. That's roughly the rate for the dollar. And the answer is, yeah, $76.33, 33.5 cents. So that's not a whole lot to export, and that made me wonder of what value is that. That's the only thing I had in regards to anything hinting at the rate having been different. So under the Judy note, just summarizing some of the things that we have here, it says, from the information contained herein, it's assumed that matters regarding the global currency reset and changeover to sovereign republics of nations of the world were imminent. It says everything has been completed for NESARA GESARA payouts, including GESARA being announced through certain media, making it legal. All debts of various nations, including the U.S., have been settled using GESARA funds collected from the cabal. GESARA has begun paying out in several countries, with the U.S. payouts to citizens scheduled. Payouts for the global currency has been authorized, scheduled, and reported. Word was that right now some Tier 3 ZIM holders were in Reno meeting with their wealth managers and proceeding with the redemption process. The Pentecostal group has already started to pay out their Group 1. On Thursday, 27 June, the new Iraqi dinar rate was available to citizens of Iraq through their debit cards and ATMs. That would explain what I just read about exports. Very soon, Tier 4B was expected to begin exchanges in China. and other BRICS nations. The process going across Asia and into Europe and then to the U.S. The Pentecostal group will begin to pay out Group 2 on Thursday, the same day the U.S. will be celebrating Independence Day with major announcements expected. I did not read this before I started talking, folks. I'm reading it with you right now, but it is kind of going along my line of thinking. I am not in any way trying to say that I predicted the future. I'm not in any way trying to say that I'm right. But I am trying to say it kind of makes sense to me. And that's why I'm doing a video on it. Because it seems things are happening. If they happen this week, next week, the following month, I mean, that's okay. But here's what I do believe. I do believe it's going to happen. I do believe things like this have happened where all the debts have been paid. Matter of fact, let's go look at the debt clock and see what it says. And so if one was to look at the U.S. debt clock, which we are real quickly here, you'll see that the debt is still running in at $34 trillion, almost $35 trillion. The national public debt outstanding represents the amount of principal amount of marketable and non-marketable securities currently outstanding, and the source is the U.S. Treasury. And if you stop there, you'll think, well, that just is not good. But we'll see when you go down here, which is apparently I was there already, as you can see, you see it says there, it says U.S. Treasury dollars. It does not say Federal Reserve notes. And if you read the information in there, it says, in 1862, President Lincoln issued $450 million directly from the U.S. Treasury. These debt-free, interest-free notes were known as greenbacks. That's history. And then, which got both of these men assassinated for the same reason, money. On June 4th, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the U.S. Treasury, bypassing the Federal Reserve Bank. These debt-free, interest-free notes were known as silver certificates. That source, too, is the U.S. Treasury. And here we're talking money creation of U.S. Treasury dollars, rapidly increasing. That's a hint. Continuing further on that topic, global financial crisis. The new USA Treasury dollar, backed by real-world assets, is coming, folks. Put it together. 1 + 1 still equals 2. The Financial Accounting Manual for Federal Reserve Banks states that the Treasury Secretary can instruct the Fed to revalue the gold on the U.S. government's balance sheet. It will likely be revalued to over $20,000 per ounce. Boom, it's coming. And if you've been listening to DK, we'll talk about it. My goodness. Folks, here it is. For 4 years I've been talking about this, and I ain't done with this video yet. Please pay attention. Have you bought some gold? Can you see the timing, folks? For instance, let's go here real quick, and then let's go here real quick, and we're going to stop this guy from talking here, and we're going to go here. And as you can see, folks, I had a little hiatus, right? What was I talking about when I came back? Here's 5 months. Here's 1 month. 4-month hiatus. Time for a gold BRICS rush. A glint of gold bugging out. The dollar is dying. Is it over? ASEAN dollar ditch is an XRP IQD fast pitch. QFS, the quantum financial system. Be sure to qualify financial scams. Yes, they're coming. IQD, not too poor to pay attention. Cannot talk about IQD without adding XRP crypto blah blah. Has the RV IQD GCR begun? Be careful, walk, don't run. Vietnam, another brick in the wall. One country's trash is another man's treasury. A BRICS Plus unit is also bigger than the Iraqi dinar, and the Supreme Court strips the SEC, and it ain't pretty. Can you see it, folks? I can't get no more clearer than this. Please like, please share, please follow along, please let it be done that maybe, just maybe, I'm a paradigm whisperer. The light of truth is a beam that helps me see through the scene. It's all happening just as expected. Okay, let's continue and wrap this up. I actually had more I wanted to cover. I guess I'm going to have to do another video to cover that, but it will tie into what I'm saying now. And I'll try to do wrap up so everything makes sense. But courtesy of DINAR Guru, let's keep going. Walking stick. The ATM machines are all poised like centurions that are standing there. These ATMs are guarding the lower notes. It's time for all of this to come out now. Do you understand that? The Iraqs have the military guarding the ATMs that have the lower notes which are virtually worthless without a reset. Virtually worthless without a reset. Because it takes 1,310 Iraqi dinar just to get a dollar. Just get a dollar. So what do you think a 50 dinar note is really worth? They might as well have coins. You follow? It's time for all this to come out now. It's just the budget we're waiting for. I don't believe that at all, folks. That's just part of the movie. They're not waiting for the budget. They're waiting for the go-ahead with the global currency reset, and we're all probably going to wake up one day, it's going to be smack in our face. It says we're not waiting for any laws, we're not waiting for any new procedures. That I believe. Frank says, Iraqi Boots on the Ground report from Firefly. We are now hearing from our news on Channel 1 that Iraq has been fully accepted into the World Trade Organization. Okay, now I don't know if we can add credibility to this, but I'm going to show things that I believe point towards the fact that a global currency reset is happening. Not going to happen. This is going to be official July the 18th. You see these dates? Forget dates and rates, people. Forget dates and rates. Because when it happens, you're not going to care what day it is. And when it happens, you're not going to care what rate it is. You're going to win either way. It says to join the World Trade Organization, Iraq does not need a currency with value. No, that's not the point. Iraq needs a currency that has no restrictions, no handcuffs, no limitations in order for it to float on an international market, whatever the case. This is very good. I'm going to say that differently. It has to have no sanctions on it, is what I will say. It has to have a true value, is what I will say in regards to that. And what contributes to that true value, also in harmony with the things that I've been speaking about, is the other item I wanted to cover in the next video. But to end this video, we have been getting hints that an RV is reality. There have been content providers out there, there's a ton of people like myself, who are trying to draw attention to the fact that there's major things happening and trying to give a little insight on what's happening. And this little clip here from Trump is another clue that an RV is an absolute reality, folks. And so let's listen to it, and then I'll wrap it up with one more point or two.
So we're going to have some tremendous numbers coming in. When you look at the ridership in the airlines, what they've gone, they went from 2% to a number that, if it's correct, I'd be surprised, actually. But it's a very high number. It's great. People are traveling. And you know what? They're traveling in the United States. And they're also driving. And they're building the trailers. They're building a lot of things. They're driving. People are driving.
Does that make sense?
I have to buy one of those things, drive around town.
What are
Maybe
they
I'll
driving?
drive back to New York with our First Lady in a trailer. What do they call that? An RV. An RV. Well, you should know Indiana's the capital of RVs. I think I'm going to buy an RV and travel for now on in an RV with our First Lady. I don't think anybody would mind that.
No, I do not think anybody would mind an RV. And I checked, and Indiana is the RV manufacturing capital of the world. And I just made a trip, if you saw the short I did. And yes, I did see several RVs alongside the highway as I was traveling. And when I say RVs, I mean places lined up like car lots, but by the acre with RVs in Indiana. So that's a reality. But see, that's one hint, folks, that this is a real deal. And if you did it, you can have strong belief system that the RV is going to happen if you make it and you hang on to it. But then there's something else that happened, and I tried to find it, and I had to use a text message that we were sharing in our group, and it's going to be fuzzy, but it is the ultimate display of power to show that the RV is going to happen and that President Trump is going to usher it in, and very likely 2024 will not happen, just the way Q said, because there won't be a need for an election because the president that was elected last time and was robbed will be put back in his seat. Now, see, I am apolitical. If this gets you all wrapped up, bound up, constipated because I'm talking about Trump, I don't know what to tell you about that because I'm just talking about the facts. I don't vote. I've never voted. I am 100% Christian. My king is already elected, appointed, not even elected. He's appointed by God. His name is Michael in heaven, Jesus Christ, to us. Okay, so I don't vote, so don't get wrapped up in this. But I still can see what's going on. And what's going on here, folks, is that Trump is now going to display his power in this clip I'm going to show you. Watch this clip. He just buzzed the airport. Now he's doing a loop. He's flying over Washington, D.C. And he's coming back around. It's hard to read those words there because apparently it disappeared. They made it disappear, and I had to go find a terrible clip of it to make my point. And so what is my point? My point is that's restricted airspace, and nobody violates it, especially some convicted felon, former president, presidential candidate in a private jet does not violate the airspace of DC at will. But here Trump is doing 2 flybys, looping around over the city of DC, coming back for the second round, because that's who's really in power, folks. The military is in power. He is in power. An RV is happening. And if you remember my clip from prior where he said there's going to be an RV sooner than we think, that the currency is going to be on a level playing field, that's exactly what's happening. So hang in there and we'll finish it out with him doing another flyby. I'm DK Will. This is DK. We'll talk about it. Whether you like him, whether you love him, whether you hate him, I don't care because I don't vote. But we all are in this, aren't we, for the money, right? For the benefit and the wealth and creation for our families, right? Don't get your panties in a bind. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.